Simulacra and Simulation by Baudrillard. Read by Stеaдyy Делта. Chapter 17. Values Last Tango. Where nothing is in its place lies disorder. Where in the desired place there is nothing lies order. Brecht. Panic on the part of university administrators at the idea that diplomas will be awarded without a real work counterpart, without an equivalence in knowledge. This panic is not that of political subversion. It is that of seeing value become dissociated from its contents and begin to function alone, according to its very form. The values of the university diplomas, etc., will proliferate and continue to circulate. A bit like floating capital or eurodollars, they will spiral without referential criteria, completely devalorized in the end. But that is unimportant. Their circulation alone is enough to create a social horizon of value, and a ghostly presence of the phantom value will only be greater, even when its reference point, its use value, its exchange value, the academic workforce that the university recoups, is lost. Terror of value without equivalence. This situation only appears to be new. It is so for those who still think that a real process of work takes place in the university and who invest their lived experience, their neuroses, their raison d'etre in it. The exchange of signs, of knowledge, of culture in the university between teachers and taught has for some time been nothing but a doubled collusion of bitterness and indifference. The indifference of signs that brings with it the disaffection of social and human relations. A doubled simulacrum of a psychodrama, that of a demand hot with shame, presence, Oedipal exchange with pedagogical incest that strives to substitute itself for the lost exchange of work and knowledge. In this sense, the university remains the site of a desperate initiation to the empty form of value, and those who have lived there for the past few years are familiar with this strange work, the true desperation of non-work, of non-knowledge, because current generations still dream of reading, of learning, of competing, but their heart isn't in it. As a whole, the ascetic culture mentality has run body and possessions together. This is why the strike no longer means anything. It is also why we were trapped. We trapped ourselves, after 1968, into giving diplomas to everybody. Subversion? Not at all. Once again, we were the promoters of the advanced form, of the pure form of value, diplomas without work. This system does not want any more diplomas, but it wants that, operational values in the void, and we were the ones who inaugurated it with the illusion of doing the opposite. The students' distress at having diplomas conferred on them for no work complements and is equal to that of the teachers. It is more secret and more insidious than the traditional anguish of failure or of receiving worthless diplomas. No-risk insurance on the diploma, which empties the vicissitudes of knowledge and selection of content, is hard to bear. Also, it must be complicated by either a benefit, alibi, a simulacrum of work exchanged against a simulacrum of a diploma, or by a form of aggression, the teacher called on to give the course or treated as the automatic distributor, or by rancor, so that at least something will still take place that resembles a real relation. But nothing works. Even the domestic squabbles between teachers and students, which today make up a great part of their exchanges, are nothing but the recollection of and a kind of nostalgia for a violence or a complicity that heretofore made them enemies or united them around a stake of knowledge or a political stake. The hard law of value, the law set in stone, when it abandons us, what sadness, what panic. This is why there are still good days left to fascist and authoritarian methods, because they revive something of the violence necessary to life, whether suffered or inflicted, the violence of ritual, the violence of work, the violence of knowledge, the violence of blood, the violence of power and of the political is good. It is clear, luminous, the relations of force, contradictions, exploitation, repression. This is lacking today, and the need for it makes itself felt. The teacher's reinvestment of his power through free speech, the self-management of the group and other modern nonsense is still all a game, for example, in the university. But the entire political sphere is articulated in the same way. No one is fooled. Simply in order to escape profound disillusionment, to escape the catastrophe brought on by the loss of roles, statutes, responsibilities, and the incredible demagoguery that is employed through them, it is necessary to recreate the professor either as a mannequin of power and knowledge, or to invest him with a modicum of legitimacy derived from the ultra-left. If not, the situation is intolerable for everyone. It is based on this compromise, artificial figuration of the teacher, equivocal complicity on the part of the student. It is based on this phantom scenario of pedagogy that things continue, and this time can last indefinitely, because there is an end to value and to work. There is none to the simulacrum of value and of work. The universe of simulation is transreal and transfinite. No test of reality will come to put an end to it except the total collapse and slippage of the terrain, which remains our most foolish hope.